trying to get people to join Strive and to join our wonderful family and to share and to talk about what's going on for them and to take the Strive method exercises and undertake our quests and really have some fun with it. People are scared. People are scared and people are afraid, and it's really difficult to onboard people. But with a book, hey, you know, those of you that don't want to ask for help, those of you that feel you want to do it yourself, book is great. It's also cheap as chips. Like I said, $4.75. It's nothing, is it? And if you really stay tuned and join our email list, there's plenty of opportunities for you to get this book for free as well if you can't pay the $4.75, right? And hell, if you can't afford $4.75 for a book because times are too difficult, then email me at thestrivemethod@gmail.com and I'll give you one for free. Welcome to the 1000 Days Sober podcast. My name is Lee Davey. I am not an alcoholic. I refuse to be anonymous. I am someone that doesn't drink alcohol. I am an amazing father, husband, son, friend, leader, and lover, and master coach. And I spend every single minute of my day helping people to quit alcohol and see that there is life after alcohol, conscious life, right? Help people live more consciously. I want to start off by saying a big apology to all of my faithful followers out there. Those of you that like running around, listening to my dulcet tones, inspiring you. I apologize that I've left you in the hands of people like Joe Rogan and Sam Harris and Tim Ferriss and James Altucher. I'm really sorry. There are two reasons why I have been missing in action, and I am well and truly back now. The first has been a big visa issue. So those of you that will have been following me for a long time, you'll know that I have found it very difficult and frustrating to live in America. Yes, it's not easy, folks. Basically, I hired somebody to apply for my US residency, which really should be a piece of cake, right? I'm an upstanding citizen. I want to make the US my home. My wife is Californian and US born and bred. My daughter is got dual citizenship. She goes to school there. We live there. And the person that I hired to do the paperwork made a mistake. She forgot to send in a form, and the US government cancelled my application and told me to get the hell out of the country. So as you can imagine, that was quite stressful. And I'm currently homeless. So I'm currently homeless. I'm in the UK at the moment, and I'm going to be here for a couple of months. But if anyone needs someone to look after your house, then give me a shout and email me at thestrivemethod@gmail.com, and I will look after your house and take care of it. Yeah, I'm homeless for the moment. I'm over here on my own. My wife and Zia are still in California. So that's been really stressful. You know, I've been really missing them. There've been times when I've been feeling a little bit lonely, a little bit isolated. Anxiety has come up because I'm not quite sure what's happening in the future. And for all of us, you know, the reason that we drink alcohol or we watch pornography or we gamble too much or we eat too much sugar or we take drugs or, you know, whatever, is because we don't have a mental map for the world that's ahead of us. And that can freak us out a little bit. At the same time, I've taken it as a wonderful opportunity to do some real deep work, to learn to be more in my self energy, and to love those parts of me that do get afraid and do miss my loved ones. It's also allowed me, obviously, to spend some time with my family here in the UK, including my beautiful son, who was 21 on the weekend. And I had a really wonderful time there with him. So that's great. So yeah, I'm here in the UK applying for US residency, and hopefully that will be all sorted out this year. All right. The other reason that I haven't been on here doing the podcast is because I've been finishing my book, and it's finished. So the Strive Method, Control Alcohol in 30 Days so it doesn't control you for the next 30 years, is out. You can find it on Amazon, or you can go to www.1000dayssober.com to buy the book. It's $4.75. So every single one of you can afford it, and you would be helping me out incredibly and immeasurably if you would buy it. And then let me know what you think about it at thestrivemethod@gmail.com. So I've been finishing my book, and I decided, you know, let's just down tools and stop doing everything. I know people will get upset that they don't get the content they're used to, but we got to get this book done. We got to get out there and get your message and your philosophy out to millions of people. So I have been doing that. And why should you buy the book? Well, other than being a loyal, faithful follower of this podcast and wanting to give back to me by buying a copy of the book and buying copies for other people and buying as many copies as you can for everybody and spreading the gospel. Other than that, for me personally, books have made a profound change in my life. Those of you who've been listening to the podcast for the last 10 years will know that I read the Alan Carr Easy Way to Stop Smoking Permanently, how long ago was that now? 22 years ago. And I was really struggling to stop smoking at the time. And I read this book and I have not craved a single cigarette in 22 years, right? And a little while after that then, about 10 years after that, when I realized that my drinking alcohol had gone way out of control and it was destroying my marriage, I read The Easy Way to Control Alcohol and Stop Drinking. In truth, I didn't have to read that book. I had already made the decision to stop, but I read it and there I am, 12, 13 years later, and not a drop of alcohol passes through my mouth or any other part of my orifices. And then, once I had stopped drinking alcohol and I realized the power in books and I started to up level and leave the matrix and started to go on this journey of evolution of my mind, of my body and my soul, so to speak, I then picked up the Jack Canfield Success Principles. And I read that, and he said you could be or do anything you want to be or do. And I was like, well, I'm working on the railway, and the only reason I'm doing this is for money. I hate it. I don't like it. I don't want to do it anymore. And it was Jack that helped me, former guest on this podcast, Jack that helped me to find the confidence and the courage to retire after 19 years on the railway and to get my money and use it to travel around the world, being a professional poker player whilst building Strive. All right. And since that time, I would say that, 90% of everything that I know and I teach, not 90%, I'm just making that up. I just made that. I just pulled that number out there. A significant amount of the stuff that I teach and the philosophy and Strive method is down to what I've read in books. Training courses, massive. Experience, massive. But books allow you to take your experience, to take your screw ups, to take your fuck ups, and to really make sense of where you went wrong and where you're doing some really good stuff. And it allows you, for me especially, is to develop an idea or a thought, and then you read it in a book and it's like, holy shit, that is exactly how I feel, or that is exactly how I've been behaving. So for me, books have always been really important to me. So if you want to be someone that doesn't drink alcohol, there's absolutely no reason why you can't read my book and stop drinking and never drink again like I did when I read a book. It's not designed for that. It's designed to help you stop drinking for 30 days, right? But there's no reason why it can't, because the same thing that happened for me, right? Books are also good because you don't feel any pressure to finish them. You don't feel any pressure to stop drinking because it's your book, you bought it, nobody else knows you got it, and it's your own little thing. I remember back in my smoking days, I never wanted to finish the book because really in my heart of hearts, I didn't want to stop smoking. I was just really interested in reading the book to see what it would say. And I used to read it on the railway journeys from Bridgend to Cardiff every day. I used to hide it because I was ashamed that people would see that I was reading a book about quitting smoking. But it enabled me to take my time and read it in my own way. And unfortunately, in this line of work, by line of work, I mean helping people to stop drinking alcohol, one of the biggest problems that I or anyone else in this industry faces is most of the time people don't want to ask for help. They are confused as to whether or not they even have a problem, and the societal conditioning around admitting you have a problem with alcohol, there's so much stigma attached to it that people just don't want to go there. All right. People don't want to go there. So when I'm trying to get people to join Strive and to join our wonderful family and to share and to talk about what's going on for them and to take the Strive method exercises and undertake our quests and really have some fun with it, people are scared. People are scared and people are afraid. And it's really difficult to onboard people. But with a book, hey, those of you that don't want to ask for help, those of you that feel you want to do it yourself, book is great. It's also cheap as chips. Like I said, $4.75. It's nothing, is it? And if you really stay tuned and join our email list, there's plenty of opportunities for you to get this book for free as well if you can't pay the $4.75, right? And hell, if you can't afford $4.75 for a book because times are too difficult, then email me at thestrivemethod@gmail.com and I'll give you one for free. No questions asked, okay? But what are the downsides of a book? Yeah, there are downsides of a book. One, people don't ask for help. I just said that it's a good thing you can give people like that a book because they don't have to ask for help. But, here at Strive, we are more about the life after alcohol. So I could give you a book, you could read it, you could stop drinking. But if you don't take my philosophies that further and learn to live more consciously and live an extraordinary life and challenge yourself in many ways, then, is it really worth it, right? The AA family talks about dry drunks, people who stop drinking but are still miserable bastards because they haven't changed any other aspect of their life. So the downside of a book is, that people can hide and people don't want to go any further. And, I won't hide the fact that the book is encouraging you to come and join Strive. This is where the hard work is done. This is where the fun is had. This is where you're going to grow. This is where you're going to build your network and learn to meet so many different people from so many different cultures who all have the same thing in common. They're really struggling to stop drinking alcohol, okay? The other downside of a book, and I found this with Alan Carr's book, is once you stop drinking and you do want to keep that momentum and change other areas of your life, it's difficult if you're stuck in a book because, how do you get hold of the author, right? Like for me, Alan Carr died at the time. Well, I'm not dead. And you can always reach out to me at thestrivemethod@gmail.com while you're reading a book. But to really help you as well with that, I've created a monthly book club. So once you sign up and buy the book through our website at 1000dayssober.com, we will alert you of when the monthly book club sessions are taking place. I will read a chapter live on Zoom and then open up for Q&A. So as you're reading the book, any questions you have for me, write them down and then we can get on Zoom and we can talk about them. If you bought the book or buy the book via Amazon, then again, email me at thestrivemethod@gmail.com and let me know, and I'll put your email in the system so we can notify you when we have a monthly book club, okay? And finally, the downside of a book is people don't see it as a start of an epic journey. That's all it is, right? I'm just trying to help you to stop drinking for 30 days so you can start to feel the joie de vivre around being someone that doesn't drink alcohol and kind of egg you on, if you will, and double dare you. I double dare you to come and join Strive and start making this work your constant. I mean, it's not even work. It's more like hard fun. Make this hard fun your everyday existence, okay? So there you go. So what is the book about? Well, the book is 30 chapters from the Strive Method. So those of you that don't know, the Strive Method is our coaching program, our online coaching program with more than 120 coaching videos. The Strive Method is broken down into 6 different phases. The first phase, the first 3 modules are in what's called the pre-recovery phase. So stuck, thought, and ready. They're the 3 modules in phase 1, pre-recovery. And we don't ask you to stop drinking in those first 3 months. So stuck is, why am I drinking alcohol and why can't I stop? Thought is all about the ambivalence. Wow, I really want to stop, but I really love drinking as well. And ready is preparing you to stop drinking. Those are the first 3 modules. The second 2 modules, initiative and vigilance, they're part of the recovery phase. This is where we ask you to stop drinking. And initiative is where we really help you to understand the invisible, violent, and dominant belief system we call alcoholism and how that really impacts every single decision you have around alcohol, and how seeing it and witnessing that allows you to stop drinking without craving. And the vigilance module is all about maintaining that. So when you stop drinking, there's a period of maintenance where you have to really take care of your mental state and your body, and to continue expanding those days, day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to really grow some time between the last time you had a drink and your current moment, okay? And then finally, we have the evolution module that is in the post-recovery phase, and that is where we're really helping you to build your rockets and fly to Mars, to really help you live a more conscious life, to take your sobriety into your parenting, take your sobriety into your sex life, take your sobriety into your relationships, into your meaning and purpose, and to really start to excel as a human being. So I've taken 5 chapters from each of those phases: stuck, thought, ready, initiative, vigilance, and evolution. And I've wrote about them in this book to give you a greater insight into what the Strive method is all about. So you can say, hey, I want a piece of that, and come and join us on a monthly subscription here at Strive, and join our wonderful family and all the amazing, incredible things we got to offer you in that format, okay? At the end of each chapter, there is a next step. Please do that next step. That will really, really propel you on, and you will absolutely love it, okay? Read the book, spread it far and wide, and do me a favor and let me know what you think about it, and leave testimonials. Email me at thestrivemethod@gmail.com, and also leave them at Amazon as well. And if you think it's a pile of pants, let me know and I will give you your money back, okay? So today I'm going to end by reading one of the chapters of the book. And I was recently on the Janie Lee Grace podcast, and somebody wrote to her and said, I want to learn more about the profound mirror. So that is the chapter that I will read. So chapter 27, the profound mirror. Here you go. Thanks to the addictive system of life, humans are repressive and suppressive from the moment we release their first screams of anguish. Societal conditioning bombards us with rules around thinking, feeling, and acting. We develop a shadow side through this control campaign that plays host to our deadened impulses, withheld emotions, stigmatized desires, and lost dreams. When we share space with people who remind us of our shadow, we become agitated and slip below the line into victim consciousness. The ensuing pain and suffering often lead to alcohol as a compensatory strategy. The shadow is hidden from us, not because we can't see it or feel it, but because we deny it in the same way we deny our natural impulse not to drink alcohol. Contrary to oft-cited belief, the shadow is not the home of all things stinky and funky. It's also where we hide our brilliance, which also disgusts the world. It takes tremendous will and effort to deny our wholeness. For that reason, the exiled and protected parts of our psyche that exist in the shadows often leak out in unhealthy ways as we project this cacophony of unmet needs and desires onto those who trigger us the most. For this reason, whenever someone triggers me, I ask myself these questions. Where in my life am I doing the same thing? Or, what is it about this behavior in this other person that I envy? The lesson of the profound mirror ties in nicely with our chapter on radical responsibility, because it shifts the focus of attention away from fixing someone else to healing ourselves. This morning, a client of mine wanted advice on dealing with feeling judged by his girlfriend. I asked how he judges her, and he replied that he didn't. A few sentences later, he told me she was a hypocrite. My client developed a belief that it's wrong to judge. That opinion sent judgment into his shadow, and now he has little awareness of his critique of others. Think of the pain of being judged as a gift. Through his profound mirror, my client can find his judgments and work on erecting healthy boundaries rather than trying to fix his wife. Here is another example. When I criticize someone for drinking alcohol, it's because there is a part of my shadow envious that this person has something to turn to that helps them relax or cut loose. I am confident my shadow parts don't want to drink alcohol, but I'm sure it would love some sugar, to gamble, and to get stuck into a rock and roll lifestyle. And here are your next steps. For the next 24 hours, if you slip below the line because of an interaction with someone else, and you start to live in victim consciousness, and you start to judge other people, or other people start to trigger you, ask yourself these questions. Where in my life am I doing exactly the same thing? Where am I in my life behaving in exactly the same way that I am being triggered by this person while they're doing it? And or what is it about this person's behavior that I envy and wish that I could behave in the same way? Your inquiry will lift you out of drama and away from your desire to drink alcohol. So that's the Profound Mirror, chapter 27 of the Strive Method. Control alcohol in 30 days so it doesn't control you for the next 30 years. As you can see, the chapters are short and sweet, which is the way that I like to read and the way that I like to consume. I hope you enjoy it. Please, 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 today, please with a cherry on top, go to www.1000dayssober.com, find the book page, watch the little video I've made there, and purchase this book. And tell as many people as you can about it. I really appreciate it. If you are part of a business or an organization, and doesn't matter how many people you have, whether you have 2, 3, or 3 million, alcohol will play an important part in your community, in your business, all right? It will, if people are drinking to the degree that we drink, it will really hit your bottom line. So please, please, please reach out to me at the Strive Method at gmail.com to see how we can get this book to all of your employees. Okay. So if you run an organization, please contact me at the strivemethod at gmail.com so we can have a talk about how we can get this valuable piece of content into their hands to really change not just individual lives, but the whole culture of your organization. Okay. That's me done. If you've got any questions whatsoever, or you want any love or hugs, give me an email at thestrivemethod at gmail.com. Until next week, take care. And again, I apologize for being so late at getting you some content, but once you read the book, I'm sure you'll feel that it was all worth it. Much love, everybody.